Welcome to Motivate, Grind, Succeed, the podcast. I'm Rasean, your host, as well as your favorite internet neurotransformation coach. And today we're going to be talking about how to change your brain with positive thinking. And this one, we're going to be going through a lot of scientific proof as to how this stuff works. In fact, I have 7 different articles I'm going to be referencing. We're not going to walk through them all, but I have 7 different articles so that way you can see that the stuff that I talk about the gratitude and all these kind of things actually do work. So let's hop right into it. Positive thinking is not just motivational talk. Okay, it's backed by science. We're going to explore these positive thoughts just now. But before we do, I want to give you a little bit of background, understanding the brain. So your brain is comprised of billions of neurons, which are literally cells in your brain, and they're connected by what are called synapses. Everything that we do is powered by these neurons and synaptic connections. Literally everything that goes on in your body or anything that you do is powered by these connections. Everything from how you talk, to how you walk, to how you blink your eyes, to every muscle contraction that you do, every bend of your finger, that's all done through your brain firing small electrical impulses. And so this comes to the second point that I want to talk about, which is the neurons that fire together, wire together. It's a very famous phrase in neurology. And basically what it means is whatever you repeat over and over and over again, the brain becomes really, really good at doing that, which is why you can walk right now. You can walk without thinking about it. You can talk without thinking about it. You can move your body without thinking about it. That's why if you see something off in the distance and you want to go grab something, that's the reason why you're able to do that without trying. You could do it without trying too hard because your body already knows how to do it. And because your brain naturally can do it, you naturally do. And so what I want to do now that you understand that basic stuff, right? We took like 2 minutes to understand the basics. Remember those, because now we're going to get into the scientific proof. Okay, here we go. So first of all, these are all going to lead into pretty much the question of why is it that positive thinking works? That's the main question that we're going to be answering. Study number 1. Study in 2020 showed that repetitive negative thinking is linked to cognitive decline as well as potential markers for Alzheimer's disease. Study number 2. A study from the University of Cambridge showed that the more that negative thoughts were suppressed, the less that people remembered them 3 months later. Study number 3. Johns Hopkins research found that positive thinking was associated with better mental health outcomes and increased resilience to stress, while negative emotions can lead to undesirable effects such as a weakened immune response. Number 4. The Clinical, Practical, and Epidemiology in Mental Health Journal published a study in 2019 that showed that optimism was associated with better mental and physical health outcomes. Are you convinced yet? There's a publication in the European Journal of Cardiovascular Nursing that showed that those who demonstrated optimism after following an acute cardiac event had a higher reported quality of life and less depressive symptoms compared to those who do not. Another publication in the American Psychological Association showed that positive emotions help undo lingering negative emotions, fuel psychological resiliency, and trigger improved emotional well-being. A study in the Journal of Neuroscience Nursing showed that an increased cortisol was caused by factors such as anxiety, depression, and stress. They can be harmful to neuronal health and thus negatively impact your cognitive function. There are a lot more in my research. I came across over 30 different ones that all come up to similar kinds of conclusions. That when you have negative thoughts and when you focus on the negative, your life is not looking very bueno. But when you focus on the positivity, your life can look much more bueno. Okay? I can go through way more, but I just decided to give you the short list that's there. But now that you see that the science is actually showing that positive thinking does make a difference, how do we go about actually doing it? Well, first of all, is recognizing that positive thinking is not the end all be all. It does not replace therapy or medication. So if you have an underlying medical condition that you know of, go see a doctor. Okay, we're not saying that if you actually have a medical condition, that if I just think positive, everything will be fixed. That's not what we're saying here. We're saying is if you actually have a legitimate chemical imbalance, go get that checked out. But for people who do not, try this first. That's the first thing you need to do. And then the second thing, after you recognize that positive thinking does not replace those, integrate positivity into your daily routine through gratitude practice. Get into a habit of being thankful for everything. For me personally, as a Christian, I am thankful for things that I eat, right? So the habit that I build is being thankful to God for every meal that I'm going to eat. It ain't got to be no long drawn out prayer starting with, oh, dearest Heavenly Father, I thank you greatly for the food that I'm about to consume. It doesn't need to be all like that. It can be very simple. It can just be like, Lord, thank you for this food that you've allowed me to eat. I pray that it bring nourishment to my body. Amen. Done. That's it. The key thing is the words need to be truthful and they need to be honest, realizing that there are people who have less out there than I do right now. There are people who have less food than I do, less capabilities than I do, less resources than I do. So I should be thankful for what it is that I have. Third thing that I want you to do is to improve your self-talk. Replace your negative thoughts with positive ones. Remember, the study number 7 that I mentioned, when you have that negative self-talk, you're raising your stress levels with things. It increases your cortisol. That is harmful to your neurons. That's harmful to your cognitive function. That decreases your immune response. It decreases your resiliency to just general things in life. So instead of saying things like, oh, I'm not good enough to be able to do this, I will never be able to do that, switch it to thoughts or words of, I am capable. I am good enough. And if that's too much for you, instead of switching it to a more affirmative, switch it to a question. How? How can I become good enough? Oh, I'll never get into good shape. No. How can I get into good shape? Oh, I'll never become smart enough. No. How can I become smarter? Once you switch it from a statement of I can't or I won't, that is an absolute. You are literally giving your brain no room for creativity. Once you switch it to a question of how can I or how was this going to be possible, then you leave your brain open for creative thought. That is where the solutions are made. That's solution land, when you give your brain the ability to be creative by simply asking the question, how? Take the statement that would have been an absolute, which takes recognition because it happens so quick, a lot of times we don't realize it. And because neurons that fire together, wire together, because of that, sometimes your brain just auto goes down that path and you don't even realize it. So it takes some serious introspective work, some serious self-reflection to realize where is it that you're having those thoughts? Where is it that they are creeping into your life? And instead of just taking it at face value, ask yourself, how can I? Oh, I'm not gonna be able to get that promotion. How can I? What can I do to position myself to be able to better be in a state where I can go ahead and get that? Oh, I'll never get married. How can I get married? How can I put myself and make myself the best person I can be so that way I am the best person for this other individual? Oh, I'll never be able to pass that exam. How can I put myself in a position where I can pass the exam? Who do I need to talk to? What practice problems do I need to do? What YouTube videos do I need to watch? Can I go talk to my TA? Can I set up some time with my professor? Should I go talk to my advisor? There's always a way around it. It's just a matter of if you want it bad enough, you will ask the question necessary. And finally, number 4, the way that you can change your brain is to surround yourself with positive influences. You're the average of the 5 people that you hang around with the most, so make sure that they count. If you need some assistance with this, check out the link in the description to my free ebook, The Social Blueprint, where it will allow you to see how to take accountability to control your social interactions, see and understand how it is that we choose the friends that we have, and also give you step-by-step advice to implement meaningful change into your life to finally get on the right track to get those people in your circle that you know you need and that we both know you deserve. That's what I have for you for this episode, guys. And of course, none of this works if you don't work it. If nothing changes, nothing changes. So take this as your wake-up call to make that change that's necessary in your life so you can finally see the change that you want to see. Take care I'll catch you all in the next one. And guys, that's going to wrap up this week's episode of Motivate, Grind, Succeed, the podcast. Guys, again, if you like what you heard, be sure to subscribe to the show for weekly uploads. If you love what you heard, be sure to sign up for that email list. And if you hated what you heard, be sure to share it with somebody who will appreciate it. Also, if you guys want to get access to the show notes or any kind of resource or link or to anything that was referenced in this episode, be sure to check out that episode description below. You'll also find the contact information, any freebies, or any sort of thing from our little corner of the internet. Check out the episode description. It's going to be an absolute gold mine for you guys. Until next time, take care, and I will see you in the next episode.